Urban exploration sounds thrilling, until you go one floor too deep, open one wrong door, or stare too long into something that should never have existed. In tonight's video, we're diving headfirst into 3 terrifying true stories from urban explorers who stumbled into places that were never meant to be found. What they uncovered wasn't just decay or graffiti, but something alive, waiting, and hungry. In our first story, a solo explorer discovers an elevator in a sealed metro tunnel that shouldn't even exist. But when he presses the down button, he finds a forgotten underground station where reflections talk back, and something wearing his face wants to take his place. In story 2, a couple stumbles upon a water tower not listed on any map, one oozing black sludge and pulsing like a living heart. When one of them is dragged into the tank by writhing vines, the other realizes the tower isn't a structure, it's a creature, and it's been feeding for decades. And in our final story, 3 explorers descend into a long-abandoned hospital and discover a level below the blueprints, level -3. Inside are padded cells, silent screams, and entities that don't kill you. They become you. These stories aren't just chilling. They'll make you question every locked door you've ever passed. Don't blink. Don't look away. And whatever you do, watch till the very end. Because one of these stories might already know you're watching. Story 1, The Elevator Beneath the City. You've been exploring abandoned buildings for over 6 years. Rusted catwalks, collapsed ceilings, graffiti-scarred walls. They're your playground. But something about this one felt wrong from the start. Your friend Matteo sent you the coordinates. Said there was a whole underground metro station sealed since the 70s. No official maps, no city records. Just an old maintenance worker's rumor he heard in a bar. Bring a respirator and boots, Matteo texted, and don't go alone. You did go alone. You enter through a storm drain behind a fenced construction site. After crawling past rusted pipes and ankle-deep runoff, you reach an old utility corridor tagged with an old spray-painted phrase. The lift still moves. You film everything. That's your rule. One camera strapped to your chest, another handheld for tight spaces. You speak into the mic like you always do. Location check. 3:42 a.m. Abandoned SEPTA tunnel under Callow Hill. It smells like death and rust. Your boots crunch on decades of gravel and dirt. Rats scatter in the distance. You follow the tunnel for what feels like 20 minutes, and that's when you see it. An old oxidized freight elevator. Half buried in the wall, its doors slightly ajar. Why is there an elevator here? No building above. Just asphalt and forgotten infrastructure. You aim your flashlight down the shaft. It stretches into blackness, so thick your light gets swallowed after 30 feet. But then you hear it. A clunk, then a rattle, then movement. The elevator is coming up. You freeze. The panel is dead. No power lines, no rumble of gears. Just a rising groan like ancient bones waking up. You should leave. You know you should. But your legs carry you into the elevator as the doors creak open. Inside, rusted walls, cracked floor tiles, and a single button. No label, just an arrow. Down. You press it. There's no sound, no vibration. Yet the floor shifts beneath you and the light on your camera flickers. The numbers on your GoPro blink as if confused. Something hums beneath your feet, like a sleeping animal turning over. You descend for 7 minutes. When the doors open, your breath fogs in front of your face. The air is colder, heavier. You step into a wide chamber lined with green, mold-eaten tile. An old metro sign hangs upside down above an arched tunnel. The sign says, Junction Z, not in service. You whisper, this isn't on any map. This, this station doesn't exist. The walls are covered in scratches. Some are letters. Others are just tallies, hundreds of them. You pan your camera across one wall that reads in smeared charcoal, "Don't look at her eyes." Suddenly the light behind you dies. The elevator's gone. Not shut. Gone. Just an empty shaft. Something breathes in the tunnel. You spin toward the sound, camera first. You catch the faintest shape. Female, crouched, with long black limbs and a neck too long to be human. She scurries into the shadows before you can react. You freeze. You whisper, "That wasn't a person." From behind, another whisper mimics you in your own voice. "That wasn't a person." You run. Down the tunnel. Past rusted benches and collapsed vending machines. You think you see a second figure crouched under the ticket booth glass, but it's gone when you pass. All you hear is your breath and the hissing of broken steam pipes. Then, a door. A steel door marked Switch Room B. It's heavy, rusted, but unlocked. You slip inside and close it behind you. You breathe. Try to convince yourself it's just an elaborate prank, or hallucination, or a really messed up art installation. But then, your camera shows something you didn't see. There's someone standing in the room with you. You whip around. Nothing there. You check the playback. The shape is still in the recording, thin, tall, draped in black, staring directly at the lens, but in real life, nothing. Your radio buzzes. A voice crackles through, a woman's voice, whispers only 2 words, "Don't blink." Suddenly the lights go out. Not dim, out, pitch black, and something cold touches your neck. The fingers that touched your neck weren't warm. They weren't even alive. You twist around and slam your back into the wall, chest heaving, but the room is still pitch black. Your camera still runs. The night vision kicks on automatically, grainy green glow revealing the switch room isn't empty anymore. She's in the corner, tall, unnaturally tall. Her limbs are bent in wrong angles, like her elbows were reversed and then broken again, and her head. It's tilted completely upside down, as if her spine didn't matter. And those eyes, 2 massive black voids glowing faintly white. She steps forward. "Don't blink." The radio hisses again. Your camera jitters as your hand trembles. You back toward the door. You try the handle. It's jammed. You hit it harder. You scream. The creature, her, moves with each blink. One blink, she's near the corner. Next blink, 6 feet closer. Next blink, almost breathing on you. You remember what was scratched into the wall outside. "Don't look at her eyes." But your body betrays you. You stare. And in that exact second, you're somewhere else. The room is gone. The tunnel is gone. Even the cold is gone. You're standing in the middle of a city street, but it's not real. It's wrong. Silent. Empty. The sky is a bruise-colored fog. Buildings shimmer like reflections in puddles. A stoplight overhead blinks between colors that don't exist. Purple, black, bone white. You turn to run and slam face first into a mirror. No, not a mirror. It's you, but it isn't. It's your body, your face. But the smile is too wide. The eyes are bleeding. It whispers, "You shouldn't have come down." And then it reaches out and pulls you into it. You wake up on the floor of the switch room. Time has passed. Your watch says it's 5:39 a.m. You've been missing for 2 hours. Your camera's battery is somehow still alive. But the feed has changed. It's showing footage of you walking through the tunnels. But you don't remember doing any of it. And in the background, in every shot, she's there. Always a little closer, always behind you. Sometimes you speak in the footage, but not your own words. I see you. I wear your face now. You rip the camera off and throw it against the wall. You have to get out. You wrench open the switch room door and sprint through the tunnel. You retrace your steps, metro benches, a broken signage, rusted ticket booths, until you reach the elevator shaft. But it's filled in, not collapsed, welded shut. You pound on it until your fists bleed. Then, above you, a faint ding. You turn. The escalator beside the shaft is no longer frozen. It hums softly, the rubber steps lighting up one by one. You know it wasn't working before. You know it leads nowhere. But it's your only choice. You step onto it. As you ascend, your chest tightens, your ears pop. You feel a pressure behind your eyes like something pushing from the inside. Each step takes you deeper into something unnatural. You begin to hear breathing, but not yours. Shh, shh. From behind. Always from behind. You don't dare look back. The escalator ends in a glass corridor. Clean, bright, modern. It doesn't match the decay of the station. There are no exits, just a long hallway filled with floor-length mirrors on both sides. You pause. The reflections don't match your movements. You raise your left hand. Your reflection raises the right. You step forward. It doesn't. Then slowly, they all smile, all the reflections. Every one of them smiles with lips too thin and teeth too many. And one by one, they begin tapping on the glass. Tap, tap, tap. And behind one of them, you see it again. The tall woman. Except now she's wearing your face. She steps closer until she's pressed against the glass. Then the glass fractures, just slightly. You sprint forward, away from the corridor, until the mirrors blur and vanish, and the corridor ends in a spiral staircase that descends back down. You stop. There is no up. You take one step down, and your flashlight flickers. Another step, and your ears ring. Another step, and you see writing on the wall. No one escapes the face that follows. You're losing time again. You're not sure how you got back to the station platform, but there you are. The Junction Z sign is swinging as if something brushed past it. In the silence, you hear your own voice, whispering from every direction. I am the you that left. I am the you that stayed. I am the you that never blinked. Then, miraculously, you see the elevator again. It's back. Doors open. You don't hesitate. You sprint inside and mash the only button. Up. No motion. Then, another ding. The door begins to close, but right before it shuts, you see her, standing at the end of the platform, wearing your body, smiling with your mouth, eyes locked on yours. The doors shut. You ascend for what feels like hours. When they open, you're in a subway tunnel, the real one. You crawl out onto the tracks and climb up into a service hatch. City noise floods your ears. Sunlight. Civilization. You're out. 2 weeks later, you review your footage. Most of it is corrupted, warped images, audio reversed. Some of it plays footage from your old explorations, even ones you never filmed. In the very last clip, just a few seconds of clean video, you see the elevator doors open in Junction Z, and something steps out. But it's not you. It's wearing your jacket, your gear. It looks like you, but the eyes are all wrong, and it speaks in your voice. I made it out, right? The screen goes black, and the video deletes itself. Story 2, The Water Tower That Wasn't on the Map. You and your girlfriend Sophie had a tradition, urban exploring every Saturday. No social media, no GPS, just a beat-up Jeep, old maps, a Polaroid camera, and whatever strange place called out to you. This weekend, it was Elridge. Population, 0. Removed from state records after a chemical plant explosion in the 80s. Most of the buildings had been bulldozed, but a few ghost structures remained. A church without pews, a post office with letters from 1987 still scattered on the floor, a collapsed diner with a jukebox that played the same static loop on repeat. But the strangest thing was the water tower. It wasn't on any of the old blueprints, not on the town schematics, the maps, or even satellite imagery. Yet there it stood, at the edge of the forest, leaning slightly like it was caught mid-fall, its rusted body covered in black vines that pulsed like veins. A single-access ladder snaked up its side. Sophie spotted it first. "There's no name on it," she said, squinting through binoculars. "And there's something dripping from the top." Thick black fluid oozed from the side, like sap from a wounded tree. You were drawn to it. You both were, like moths. You reach the base of the tower. The air is different here, still, sour and heavy. It feels like the forest has gone silent in protest. The door at the base is missing, but the interior is lined with concrete steps spiraling upward into pitch darkness. No graffiti, no birds, not even a spider's web, just dead silence and the sound of slow, dripping liquid from somewhere high above. You point your flashlight up the stairs. The beam disappears into the black. "I'll go first," you whisper. Sophie just nods and follows. Each step echoes too loud. The air grows colder the higher you climb. Something in the back of your head keeps telling you to go back, but curiosity is stronger than fear, for now. Halfway up, you notice the graffiti, but it's not paint. It's carved, a single phrase etched over and over into the steel walls. "What was fed will feed." Sophie stops. "Hey," she whispers. "Are those handprints?" You look up. Red, flaking handprints. Hundreds of them, smeared like they were made by people clawing their way down the stairs. Some of them trail off into what looks like drag marks. You both hesitate, but then you hear it, above you, a scraping sound, not metallic, wet. Something is moving inside the tank above. You reach the top of the stairs. The hatch to the tower tank is open. Just a thin layer of rusted grating separates you from the black pit below. You shine your light inside, and your breath catches. It's not water. The tank is filled with a black, semi-solid substance. Not quite liquid, not quite sludge. It twitches when your light hits it. The surface pulses like a living organ, and suspended just above the sludge, strung like puppets, are people, dozens of them, upside down, their faces wrapped in black vines, mouths open in silent screams. Their bodies undulate slightly as if reacting to your presence. "Oh my God," Sophie breathes, and then one of them opens its eyes. You stumble back, but Sophie doesn't move. She's frozen, staring into the pit. "They're still alive," she whispers. I can feel them inside my head." You grab her arm, try to pull her back. She jerks away, violently. "We can't leave. It's hungry." Then she screams. The black vines shoot up from the tank and wrap around her ankle, pulling her toward the hatch. You try to grab her, hold her, but the grip is too strong. She's dragged across the metal grating, screaming, kicking, and you watch in horror as the vines lift her into the air like a rag doll. "Don't look away," she shrieks. "It doesn't like when you look away." You try to hold your gaze, but it's too much. Your vision spins, your ears ring, you blink. And in that fraction of a second, Sophie's gone. No scream, no splash, just silence. The vines retreat into the pit, like they were never there, and the tank is still. You descend the stairs, numb, a shell, but the stairs don't end. You go down one flight, then another, then another. You should have reached the bottom in less than 2 minutes, but 5 pass, then 10, and still, you spiral downward. That's when you see the etchings again. What was fed will feed. The same handprints. The same red smears, but then you notice something chilling. They're fresh. You run. Finally, a door, different from the one you came through. You burst through it into blinding sunlight and fall to your knees on dead grass. You're outside again. You look up. The tower is gone. The forest is gone. You're surrounded by cornfields, an empty road in the distance. You turn on your phone. No signal, no GPS, no record of your last 2 hours. Sophie's contact, gone. Like she was never in your phone. You sit in the dirt and scream. But in the wind, you swear you hear something whisper back. One was not enough. You walk for miles. The road is cracked, lined with weeds, and leads nowhere. The cornfields never end. No cars, no signs, just sky, dirt, and the echo of Sophie's last scream clawing at the back of your mind. You keep whispering her name under your breath, like if you say it enough, she'll just reappear. Eventually a van pulls up. The driver is a farmer in his 70s, sunburnt face, quiet, doesn't ask too many questions. You lie and say your car broke down hiking near Elridge. He stiffens. You were in Elridge? You nod slowly. He goes quiet, then says something strange. Ain't no towers out there anymore. Not since the fire. You sure you weren't seeing the silo? You try to correct him. Say it wasn't a silo. Say it was tall, rusted, dripping black fluid, with no identifying marks. But the moment you describe the vines, his eyes darken. Get in. He drops you off in a nearby town. You file a missing persons report for Sophie. The cops don't take you seriously. You have no video, no photos. Your Polaroids are gone. Your phone has no record of calls or messages to Sophie, and no trace of her number in your contacts. It's like she never existed. But she did. You start looking for anything at all, that might prove what happened. You scour local archives, conspiracy forums, Reddit threads, old town maps, and then you find it, a grainy newspaper clipping from 1992. 6 hikers missing in Elridge. Search called off after lead investigator dies in accident. The article includes a photograph. In the background, half obscured by trees, is a familiar silhouette, the tower. But the caption is wrong. It calls it a condemned grain silo scheduled for demolition in the early 90s. The silo was never demolished. No records of it after 1993. But there it was in front of you 2 weeks ago, taller than ever and alive. You return to the area. You have to. The drive takes 6 hours. You park at the tree line and follow your old footprints, if they're still there. But something's changed. The trees are wrong. They've grown taller, tighter, twisted. The air is thicker. Every step feels like you're walking deeper into someone's lungs. You mark trees with chalk, tie cords around trunks, use every trick in the book not to get turned around. Still, you get turned around. The forest shifts when you aren't looking. Landmarks rearrange. Even the sky flickers like static above the leaves. Hours pass. You should turn back, and then you smell it. Rotten water, copper, burnt hair. You follow it through a gap in the trees. And there it is, the water tower, still leaning, still pulsing with that slow, horrible rhythm. The vines are thicker now, reaching into the dirt like roots. The black ooze drips faster. But this time, the hatch is already open, and the stairs are wet. Not rain wet. Breathing wet. You hear something. Faint. High-pitched. Mechanical. Click, click, click. It's a Polaroid. Someone is taking photos inside the tank. You grip the rusted handrail and begin climbing. At the top, the hatch gapes open like a mouth. You see flashes of light. Another click. You peek in. Someone's inside the tank. A man. Alone. Taking pictures with a vintage Polaroid just like yours. He's whispering to himself. It needs them, needs the feed. It gets hungry. It gets so hungry. You clear your throat. Who are you? He whips around. His face is pale, lips blistered, eyes wide and bloodshot like he hasn't slept in days. It lets me leave, as long as I bring it more. You recoil. You feed it? He nods, slowly. Tourists, explorers, backpackers, anyone who won't be missed. It told me. I hear it in my dreams. You notice his camera bag. Dozens of Polaroids spill out, pictures of different people. Some smiling, some frightened, some in mid-scream, all of them suspended above the tank. You step back, horrified. But then, you see it. Sophie's photo. She's upside down, her face blank, vines coiled around her wrists. You grab it. She's not gone. He shakes his head. She's part of it now. And from behind you, a voice. So are you. The vines strike from above. You dodge, but one wraps around your ankle. You fall, slamming against the grating. You fight, scream, dig your nails into the rusted floor, but they're too strong. The tank gurgles below, black ooze rising like a tide. Then you hear Sophie. Don't let it take you. Her voice, soft, from below. You twist toward the edge of the hatch. She's in the tank, hanging, half submerged, but her eyes, they're still hers. The photos, she says. Burn them. You fumble for the camera bag. Light a flare from your pocket. The vines scream. You ignite the bag and throw it into the hatch. The instant the flames touch the Polaroids, the tower shrieks. A sound that doesn't come from this world. 1,000 voices in unison. The walls tremble. The ooze hisses. The man screams and collapses, clutching his head. You grab Sophie's photo. It's burning, fading. You hold her face as it crumbles. And as it turns to ash, you hear one final whisper. Thank you. You wake up in a hospital. You are found passed out on the side of a county road, dehydrated, burned, covered in rust. The police tell you there was a wildfire in Elridge. Old grain silo went up like a torch, they say. There were no survivors. You don't correct them. You keep Sophie's photo in your wallet, or what's left of it, just the lower half. Her hands reaching up. The rest is scorched black. Every few weeks you hear the clicking again, in your dreams. Click, click, click. You haven't gone exploring since. But sometimes you wake up and your boots are muddy, and you don't remember where you were the night before. Story 3. The Hospital on Level -3. Urban exploring forums had called it the Hollow House. Once a high-end rehab facility in the 1950s, it was known for extreme isolation therapy, lobotomies, and patient deaths that were ruled natural far too often. Shut down in 1973, sealed, forgotten. Except it wasn't empty. Every now and then new threads would appear on ER Urbex. Photos of the hospital halls, old surgical tables, blood-stained mattresses. But what caught everyone's attention were the images taken underground. Not the basement. Level 3. No blueprints referenced it. No one knew how to access it. But explorers who claimed to have found it said the same thing. You'll know you're getting close when the temperature drops, and you start hearing someone breathing through the walls. Most of those posters went silent. Their accounts deleted. Photos vanished. Names scrubbed. So naturally you had to see for yourself. You sneak in at 2:44 a.m. The building is a concrete carcass. 4 stories of mildew, peeling paint, and shattered windows. Your flashlight beam dances through graffiti and forgotten beds. You brought backup this time. Caleb and Marla. You've explored dozens of sites with them. They're careful, smart, and unlike most urban explorers online, they don't scare easy. The entrance to Level 3 isn't easy to find. There's no signage, no stairwell. But after 2 hours of digging through medical records, blueprints, and rotted files, Marla finds a reference scribbled in pencil inside an old patient ledger. Transfer approved. C. Abrams, M3. Begin isolation. 72-0. No light, no mirrors, no sound. Caleb's eyes narrow. M3. That's not a floor code. That's a warning. Still, you press on. Behind a rusted industrial fridge in the kitchen basement, you find a panel, cement-colored, almost invisible. Marla knocks. It echoes, hollow. You pry it open. Behind it, a set of narrow stairs descending into darkness so thick it swallows the light. A strange symbol is painted on the wall in red chalk, a handprint with all 5 fingers bent backward. This is a bad idea, Caleb says. But you're already going down. The air gets cold, fast. Each step feels wrong, like your body is crossing into a place it wasn't meant to go. You stop halfway when your flashlight beam lands on something odd. A mirror, just leaning against the wall on the staircase landing, cracked, filthy. You wipe it with your sleeve. What you see isn't your reflection. It's someone standing behind you, wearing an orderly's uniform, grinning. You whip around. Nothing. You don't say a word. Just keep moving. When you reach level 3, it's colder than a meat locker. The door to the ward is ajar. You push it open. It groans like something waking up. Inside, a long hallway lined with cells, but not normal hospital rooms. Holding cells, bars, padding, locks bolted from the outside. The paint is red and beige, but you can't tell if it's rust or dried blood on the walls. The worst part is the silence. Not just quiet, soundless. Your ears ring. Your heartbeat is the only thing you hear. Marla waves at you, says something, but no sound escapes her mouth. Her face contorts. She's yelling. You hear nothing. Even when Caleb bangs on a pipe nearby, no sound. Then something changes. A humming, faint at first, like someone whispering through a pillow. It grows louder, more layered, like dozens of voices murmuring at once. They're coming from the vents. You shine your light at one above the cell door. The grate is vibrating. And then an eye blinks open behind it. You all run, through the corridor, into a wide room labeled Isolation Chamber 7. Inside, a single steel chair is bolted to the center of the floor. Leather straps dangle from the armrests. Dried blood pools beneath it. Carvings cover the floor, scratches made by fingernails. Marla pans her camera across the room and gasps. The floor, look! Etched into the concrete, in spirals too perfect for someone scratching blindly, are hundreds of repeated words. I saw myself, and I wasn't me. I saw myself, and I wasn't me. Over and over, Caleb whispers, we need to go, right now. And then the lights go out. Darkness. Total. And then footsteps. Not yours. Soft. Measured. Coming from multiple directions. The room grows colder. You try to speak, but your own breath freezes mid-word. A shape crosses the room. Tall, emaciated, arms too long, dragging on the floor. It stops right in front of Marla and stares. You shine your flashlight on it. It looks exactly like her. Same hoodie, same curls, same camera around the neck. But the mouth stretches too wide. Then it lunges. You scream, yank Marla back, and the figure vanishes into the dark like smoke. When the lights flicker on again, Caleb is gone. You search the halls, room to room, cell to cell. No Caleb. Then down the hallway, you hear sobbing. You follow it, slowly, breath caught in your throat. It's coming from the farthest room on the right. The nameplate reads, C. Abrams. You step inside, and you see him, Caleb, sitting in the corner, crying. You rush to him, but Marla yells, wait, look at his face. You stop cold. He's facing the wall, shoulders shaking. You call his name. He turns around, and his face, it's yours. You stumble backward, breath caught in your throat. Caleb, or whatever that thing is, grins with your face. Same eyes, same scar above the brow, but the expression is wrong. Too wide, too knowing, like it knows you better than you ever did. It leans forward on all fours and whispers, in your exact voice, "I've been waiting for you. We've all been waiting." You slam the door shut. Marla grabs your arm and pulls you down the hallway, both of you sprinting past the holding cells, past the vents whispering with static-laced murmurs. When you round the corner, he's already there, standing calmly at the end of the hall, still wearing your face. Marla yells and throws a flashlight. It hits him square in the chest, but passes through. He ripples like water, and then he smiles with someone else's teeth. You and Marla tear back toward the stairs. But the hallway stretches as you run. The exit gets farther. The light dims, and then Marla screams. She collapses, grabbing her head. Blood drips from her nose. You drop beside her. "What's happening?" She shakes her head, eyes wild. "They're in me. I can hear all of them, all the people they've copied. They're screaming to get out." And then she looks at you, real panic in her eyes. "I think one of them is me." You drag her into an empty room and barricade the door with a steel cart. The lights inside buzz weakly. Marla is shivering. Her eyes don't focus. She keeps muttering things, names, dates, phrases. No light, no mirrors, no sound. "I wasn't me. I wasn't me. They come when the air gets still." And then, one more sentence whispered in a voice that's not hers. "You brought us back." You freeze. "Marla?" But she doesn't answer, because she's not blinking. You wave your hand in front of her face. Still. You turn to grab your bag, your camera, your phone. And when you turn back, she's standing. But her face is wrong. It's her, but the skin is smooth, like wax. Her eyes are too bright. Her hands twitch at her sides, like she doesn't know what to do with them. And she says, in your voice, "You brought us back." You throw open the door and sprint into the corridor. Alarms are ringing now, but they're not real. There's no power down here. You've seen the broken generators, but the sirens wail, and red lights spin across the hallway like a funhouse gone to hell. You don't look back. Not when you hear your own voice calling from behind you. Not when you pass 3 more versions of yourself standing motionless in the doorways. You run until you collapse. You wake up in Isolation Chamber 7, strapped to the chair, alone. Your flashlight is gone. Your phone, too. Just that red chalk symbol scrawled across the floor, the backward handprint, and one word beneath it, echo. You scream for help until your throat burns. Nothing. Then a speaker clicks on above you. Static. Then a voice. Yours. "Welcome to level -3. Observation in progress. Echo established. Please remain still while we study your regrets." And then, footsteps. Behind you. You twist, but you're bound tight. The door creaks open. A figure steps into view. It's you, but older, worn, broken, eyes hollow. And behind him, another you, and another, and another, each one slightly off. A scar where you don't have one. A missing eye. A face burned. A face smiling too wide. They circle the chair like wolves. One of them leans close and whispers, "You looked too deep. So now you belong to the echo." And then everything goes dark. You wake up on the sidewalk outside the hospital. Daylight. Your wrists are bruised. Your gear is gone. No sign of Marla. No sign of Caleb. No sign of any door to level 3. You sprint back inside the hospital, ripping down broken walls, flipping beds, kicking open basement doors. There's nothing, no stairs, no sub-level, no isolation chamber 7. It's gone, erased. That night, you check the SD card from the camera. There's nothing on it, except one clip, just 47 seconds long. If you're still here, congratulations. You made it out. But not everyone does. From forgotten metro tunnels and shape-shifting reflections, to sentient towers that feed on the curious, to a hospital floor that doesn't exist on any blueprint, but now exists in your memory. Urban exploration isn't just a hobby, it's a gamble. And tonight you've seen what happens when that gamble turns into a nightmare. If these stories had you double-checking your windows or questioning that abandoned building down the street, then make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next disturbing tale. And tell us in the comments, which story haunted you the most? Was it the underground mimic in the elevator, the pulsing water tower that erases people from time, or the echo on level -3 that still remembers your name? Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and if you ever find a hidden door you weren't supposed to see, don't open it.